So we have everybody whining about how Joe Biden's going to do so terribly. And we have everybody whining about a third-party candidate. We have everybody whining about everything because this is what the Democrats do. It's the Obama administration, but when their campaign talked about bedwetting, excessive bedwetting going on there. And the polls, we showed a poll yesterday showing that Donald Trump losing by 5 points to Joe Biden, 49 to 44%. Another one came out, which Mediaite said it calls a brutal poll showing Joe Biden crushing Donald Trump, even with a third-party candidate.
Well, that's the interesting part here. Despite having some concerns about both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, new polling shows most Americans are not open to voting for a third-party ticket in 2024. In the latest Monmouth University survey, just 30% of registered voters say they would definitely or probably consider voting third-party if Biden and Trump are the leading names on the 2024 ballot. As for how a nameless third-party ticket could impact a 2024 rematch between the current and former president, the poll shows it may actually help Biden. Without a third-party option, the survey shows Biden beating Trump by 7 points, 47% to 40%. With a third-party ticket on the ballot, Biden's victory over Trump grows to 9 points, 37% to 28%.
So, Willie, looking at this, I mean, first of all, this is the second day we have polls out that show Joe Biden easily beating Donald Trump, thumping him. And on this third-party ballot, we're all thinking it's going to hurt Joe Biden. It's going to hurt Joe Biden, people that are with Donald Trump. It doesn't look that way here. It doesn't look this way in some other polls. It looks like people are saying, I don't like Donald Trump at all. Give me another option. I'll never vote for Joe Biden. I'll never vote for a Democrat. But give me a third-party option. And we actually see there's some actual softness in Donald Trump's numbers, and Joe Biden looking better than ever.
Yeah, that cuts against the conventional wisdom, everything we've been hearing, which is if someone like Joe Manchin were to jump in the race, it would only hurt Joe Biden and help to get Donald Trump reelected to be president. So, Jen Palmieri, I'm curious how you read into those numbers, because every other poll we've seen says people don't like the matchup. They don't like their choices. They don't want Donald Trump against Joe Biden, and they don't want to see this movie again. And yet, when you actually put the question directly to them, 30% of them want to see a third party, but it actually helps Joe Biden. And again, in that head-to-head, I think it was 7 points again. The one we saw yesterday was 5 points. You have Joe Biden up 7 points in this Monmouth poll over Donald Trump. So for all the panicking, as Joe says, that's been going on in the Democratic Party, those numbers, at least in these last several polls, look pretty good for Joe Biden.
So I was just looking at my phone because I already have 2 text messages from Democrats who, I don't like to use the term bedwetting because I find it crude, but who are freaking out about this poll because that is what Democrats do, Joe. You're right. We do freak out, but it's also why there's still a republic standing, because we over worry about elections and what's going to happen in them. This is interesting. I'm not sure that I trust it. It's the first time I've seen a poll where there is a third-party option that did benefit Biden as opposed to Trump, although, or at least just didn't hurt Biden. But there is a lot of concern that if you have that Trump's numbers, and every other poll that I've seen has showed this, are very strong. And if you have, and if there people have a third party option, that is likely to take away from Biden, because Biden is winning some disgruntled Republicans and independents over. Now, continuing in the role of the party pooper here for Democrats, I'll say, talking about the poll from yesterday, which had Biden winning 49-45 over Trump, that's a national poll. That's great. When you look at battleground states, and I'll use Wisconsin as an example, you got to get to 270. These states are not static. They're changing. And so Wisconsin, for example, has a higher level of white, non-college educated voters in 2024 than it had in 2020. That cohort of voters, has favored Trump as opposed to Biden. So these poll numbers are all great, but you still have to you still got to get to 270. And there's concerns about when you look underneath the hood, what those numbers are going to be like in each of these battleground states. And then in terms of a third party, great, only 30% are open to voting for either just third party option. But Jill Stein only needed to get in the very small digits of support in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania to win the election for Donald Trump. So I think the third party still remains a very, very significant threat to Joe Biden.
Yeah. The PTSD is strong with this one, young Skywalker.
There's no P about it, Joe. There is no post about it. It's just traumatic stress.
Exactly.
It is traumatic stress. Sam, why didn't she just say on the 2 best days of polling for Joe Biden, why didn't she just say, we don't deserve good things? Where Republicans say, we may not deserve it, but we're going to take it. That when you see these polls, you're looking at it going, well, this is a trend line in a positive direction. Happy days are here again. When I look at Wisconsin, what do I see? I see a judge's race that conservatives called the most important race in that state in a decade, and Democrats won by 11 points. Yes, things are not static. Things are breaking. Maybe it's because I'm not a Democrat. I'm still an independent, so I'm not overly negative yet. Things are breaking in Democrats' way. They won by a landslide in Wisconsin, a Supreme Court judicial race that Republicans called the most important race of their time. Democrats won in Kansas. They won in Kentucky on abortion. They have so many things that are breaking their way, not just the indictments, but the overturning of Roe. So many things good going in their direction. And Donald Trump is looking crazier and crazier every day. That's why I don't talk about national polls. Usually I talk about the suburbs of Atlanta. They'll never go for Trump again. The suburbs of Philly, they'll never go for Trump again. The suburbs of Detroit, they'll never go for Trump again. The suburbs of Milwaukee, they'll never go for Trump again, especially post-Roe. And I hope the power of positive thinking did not trigger Jen or any other Democrats out there. But look, it's okay to be happy. It's okay to smile. It's okay to be positive, Sam. Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
Hell no.
Tell us why, Sam.
First of all, let me just agree with Jen. Bedwetting is a crude, disgusting term. It should be banished from the airwaves. Never mention it again. And secondly, Jen did make, I think a very valid, if not, maybe cup half empty case for being optimistic for Democrats heading into 2024. It is a race in certain states. It's not a national race, right? Like you have to look at Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. And this, I guess, would be a question I would sort of direct to Eugene here, which is, if you look at that third party ticket, right, and you're scared about it, it's, there's not. You have to look at 2 third-party tickets, right? Like there's the Manchin one that's no labels. It would draw centrist and maybe Republicans who will be open to Biden. It could draw them away from Biden. But the other one is a Cornel West type, right? Who could take, a couple percentage points, maybe a few key thousand votes in critical states away from Biden in what Jen is, reliving a sort of like Jill Stein scenario, right? And I don't want to trigger it again, but that is what happened. You are plugged in, Gene. You know the people in the White House. Which one do they actually fear the most, right? Like, do they fear the Manchin type run, or do they fear the Cornel West small percentage points liberal enthusiasm being just drained from them?
Well, the answer, of course, because they're Democrats, is both. But before I get to that, though, let me. I'm shocked that we haven't yet mentioned. We're 12 minutes into the show. We haven't mentioned the one real big story in Washington today, which is the NFL owners approved the sale of the Washington football team, the Commanders, from Dan Snyder to Josh Harris. Our long national nightmare is over, everything is bright and sunny again. So our own malignant clown show is over. So let's all, You know, so how can anybody have negative thoughts on a day like that? It's just it's amazing.
Good question.
You know, third party. My general view has been that a third party would probably hurt Joe Biden, but now we have some data indicating maybe it wouldn't. I think that's a good thing, and I think the polling has been good, has just been good for Biden, and I'm perfectly willing to say, you know, great, and spend a day not worrying. My resolution for today is not to worry and to celebrate the end of a terrible era here in Washington football.